Hey, what's up? I'm Dr. Reggie with Anger Help Today. In this episode, I'm going to give you some uplift as you work your way through your emotions and deal with the anger that we all face from time to time, and especially at difficult times like we're living in right now in our nation. There are some things that you need to say to yourself and some things that you need to think about that you don't need to depend on any outside sources for, but you need to speak life to your own self. You're watching Anger Help Today with Dr. Reggie. And welcome back to this episode. So here's some things that we need to face, is that we are all facing some really tough days. I mean, whether it's in the political arena or just life in and of itself. Even the holidays for many people, depending on when you're watching this, can be very, very stressful times. Even on your best days, there are going to be some tough times in your life. And so that's a reality that we all have to come into realization of. Sometimes it will be in your relationships where you have incredibly tough times when it seems like you cannot bring things together to save your life. And sometimes you end up walking away simply because you could not manage your emotions and your anger got out of control. And maybe you say some things or do some things that can cause a disruption in your relationship. But what happens when it's on the job, when you have a boss who is demanding and just find yourself overwhelmed and overloaded with stress and pressure? Life can be really tough, and that's just a fact that all of us have to face. But you know what else? Your children can drive you crazy sometimes. Some of the things that they do, the decisions that they make. And it's easy for us to forget that we were once that age. Well, how do you deal with all of that? Well, we have to understand that how we respond to these tough times has a direct impact on your overall happiness, success, and satisfaction in life. It's not what happens in your life, my friends. It's how you respond. That's why managing emotions is so vitally important. And so in this video, I want to offer you some really strong suggestions to help you learn how to speak to yourself in a manner that involves speaking life and not death or detriment. Here's number one. And if you get anything out of this content that you find beneficial or interesting, I want you to definitely give it a thumbs up, give it a like, definitely subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified every time new content is loaded. So let's jump in. Number one, you have to tell yourself words of life like this. This won't last forever. Come on, why don't you say that out loud to yourself right now? This won't last forever. Whatever it is that you may be facing or dealing with as you have these emotional, horrific times in your life, as we all do from time to time, one of the most encouraging things that you could say to yourself is this won't last forever. Whether it is a job that's about to close or you're just kind of catching it at work or in your relationship or whatever, remind yourself of that. This won't last forever. Because think about it. This is not the first time that life has been off kilter or jacked up or hijacked emotionally. It's not the first time, and sadly, it won't be the last time. The good news is it won't last forever. And so when you find yourself emotionally caught up, these are some of the great things that you can remind yourself of to bring you peace inwardly. Don't always depend on people to speak these words to you, but you have to have that internal voice that says, you know what? Hey, take a chill pill. It won't last forever. Here's number two. Tell yourself these words to really speak life into your own self. I've overcome challenges before. So this isn't the first hoop, hurdle, or rodeo that you've been in. And it won't be your last. And that's good news. Because if it's not your last, it means that this is not your last day on this earth. Therefore, you can cross whatever this hurdle is because you've overcome so many challenges before. You know, I believe in journaling, and I encourage all of our clients that we work with to journal, to make a list of some of the challenges that you have overcome, because it helps you to realize that if you can do it before, you can absolutely do it again. And maybe you're facing an enormity of hurdles right now. But guess what? You can overcome this challenge. And so managing your anger and your emotions has a lot to do with your internal thinking and your internal voice. Say that to yourself. I've overcome challenges before. Here's another great statement that you can use in and of yourself to speak life on yourself. And that is number 3, take it one step at a time. You know, often when we are overwhelmed and overcome with anger or bitterness, we find that we want to cover a whole 3 states at a time. We want to finish it, fix it, resolve it, get everybody back in their place, and everything goes away and back to normal the way it was before the episode happened. But guess what, friends? Life does not work like that. You have to take one step at a time. Even when you're going through an argument, you have to process that thing. What is it that led to this? And what were the triggers involved that made me feel like I did? And it's when you break it all apart that you literally learn management of anger. Because if you break it all apart and look at step by step, then you'll be able to avoid some of those steps and be able to resolve matters much faster. Here's number 4. I can ask for help. I've got 3 on the screen, but this is your 4. I can ask for help. Reminding yourself that I'm not without help means that I can find help for whatever this catastrophe or this emotion or this angering situation that I'm dealing with. I can ask for help. If you need help with anger management or any type of emotions, reach out to us. We can help you from anywhere in the world on Zoom calls. And we've been able to help and assist so many people that have reached out for help. Realizing that you're not in this by yourself and that there are people who understand, or even if they don't understand, they can help talk you through what it is that you're facing, can help you with your management of anger and all sorts of emotions. All right, here's the next one. You aren't the first. So telling yourself you aren't the first means that you're reminding yourself that life is not picking on you. And karma, fate, whatever it is you believe in, is not picking on you. You are not the one that all of nature and God and whomever you believe in are just picking on. You're not the first, which means you won't be the last. Which means just like others have gone through these emotional, gigantically compromising situations that you may be facing right now with your anger or your bitterness or your rage or your grudges, you aren't the first one and you won't be the last one, which means that you won't always be in this situation. Here's another thing that you can tell yourself that I think is so powerful. Just breathe. Telling yourself just breathe allows you the right to feel your emotion, but at the same time, it reminds your own self not to stay in that motion, because it is impossible to breathe in fresh air and release that stress and talk at the same time. You can't inhale and speak at the same time. So when you inhale slowly through your nose, you are calming your mind. You're allowing your brain to return back to its normal functional state, because when you get angry, you literally cause the blood to rush from your brain down to the parts of your body that your brain thinks it needs it more, like your fist and your legs. It's that fight, flight, or freeze syndrome. But when you breathe, you stop talking. You don't stop thinking, but your brain is able to recover from the emotional trauma or the anger or the strife that you may be caught up in at that moment. So I want to encourage you to breathe through it and understand that you don't have to succumb to your emotions, but you can breathe through it by slowly inhaling in your nose, slowly releasing out of your mouth like a balloon, air seeping out of a balloon. And that will help to calm you all the way down. So here's action step number 1. And by the way, be sure to check the links in the description for a free handout that accompanies this teaching. It will help you. Number 1, prepare for a tough day now. So you probably already know about some upcoming obstacles or challenges that you may face. So if you know that, let's say, for example, this is Friday and you're getting ready to go back to work on Monday and you've had a very difficult time with a coworker, you can create a plan now that will address what it is that you're going to face. Rather than getting all worked up about it, have a plan for how you're going to interact with that person, or maybe even what you're going to say, or how you're going to conduct yourself. Because it helps you to be prepared for whatever the encounter may be. And it also takes away some of the extra melodrama that we all add to our imagination of how worse things are going to be, and worse the situation is going to get. So, number 2, make a list of some of your toughest challenges and how you overcame those challenges. Again, it goes back to journaling. Maybe you can keep it in your cell phone, in that notes section of your cell phone, so you can have it to refer to it as often as you need to. And here's action plan number 3, friends. Eliminating stress is easier when you have the right tools. And I can't talk about that enough. We want to provide you with tools. And if you check the links in the description, you'll see there are some tools that you can use to help you learn to improve your anger management skills and emotional skills. And number 3, again, practice breathing exercises. Breathing exercises, when they are practiced, it helps you to flow in that space when you need it the most. Because guess what? You perfect whatever you practice. So whatever you constantly do, good or bad, you become much, much better at it. Well, listen, I hope you got something out of this particular episode. If you did, let us know by leaving a comment. Let us know which of these would you like to try, or which have you tried and it's worked for you. Or what have you tried and it's not worked for you before, but you're going to give it a second chance. Hey, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and that way every time new content is loaded, you'll be among the first to know. I can't wait to share with you in the next episode. Don't forget to check the links in the description for helpful resources and materials. I'm Dr. Reggie. This is Anger Help Today. Hey, check out our podcast as well. Link is in the description.